Hi everybody, I'm Inka and I'm currently working on a cosmic horror novel called MSV Shelter and filming the process. In the months of June and July, I deep dived into outlining, and in the last video, I finished up all my major and minor plot threads, or I tried to anyway, but they are done by now. And today I'm going to weave them all together into a composite outline. If you've seen my first video in the series, you might remember me talking about how I wanted my finished outline to look like. I took Brandon Sanderson's and Mary Robinette Kowal's outline as examples. They both wrote theirs on a Word document, but I realized that that's not how I want to do it. I fell in love with the index card approach that I first learned about in Scrivener, but now transferred over into Notion. It's just easier to navigate and you can see everything at once, and it's very pretty. I'm doing all my planning and outlining in Notion, and I highly recommend you do the same. It has many more features than Scrivener and it's for free. The learning curve can be a bit steep, but I find it highly fulfilling and you only need to learn as much as you want to. I started out by just copying everything from the major and minor plot threads into their respective chapters. This took a bit longer than expected, and I want to find a way to do this more efficiently. Then I went through the bullet points and tried sorting them chronologically before transferring chunks of it into scene cards. I already made scene cards during my first pass at outlining, so I just had to link the database and shuffle some things around because the number of chapters and a lot of other stuff has changed. Then I wrote a little overview of the chapters to quickly navigate through chapters without having to click through all of them, and to make sure that every chapter has its own overarching story. Seeing just one chapter at a time forces you to see them as their own entity and mini-story that has its own beginning, middle, and end. Try to build the scenes with that in mind. Maybe have a little cliffhanger at the end, as long as it's not a fake one and doesn't undercut the resolution of the chapter. If your book is too long to read in one sitting, I'd advise against putting a cliffhanger at the end of every chapter. In the Writing Excuses podcast, Ding, they talk about chapters being like these little speed ramps, like in Mario Kart, catapulting you forward. But they are also a place that the reader can put your book down for a while after having finished a great mini-story in the last chapter. This would be a question I would have for my alpha readers, like, was a chapter dragging? Should I have broken earlier? When did you put the book down? Why? Etc. Also pay attention to the mice quotient I talked about in the last video. Make sure that the first and last chapter mirror each other in what type of plot thread gets started and resolved first and last. Especially the first and last sentence. For me, they are both about the milieu story, and after, aka before, that comes the character story. That's it for today. The next video was supposed to be about chapters, but I think I mostly covered that already in this one. I had also planned to do a video on structural editing at the end of the month, but I am massively behind in finishing my second draft and I need to focus on that. So I don't really know what the next video is going to be about, probably scene cards, but I don't know when it's going to come out because scene cards are even more work than chapters, and it almost took the whole month for me to finish the chapters. Alright, we finished level 6 of the outlining process, only one more level to go. If you feel ready to start your first draft, off you go. I'm going on to level 7, where I'm going to talk about scene cards, and you can catch me there probably in 3 weeks or so. Bye!